Okay. Ready to go, baby?
Yeah, let's go.
Feeling good? Okay. On the scene with Douche,
And Goose.
a book club, but for movies. Jazz hands. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of On the Scene with Dushi.
And Goose.
So good to have you back. I hope you've been enjoying the episode so far. I hope you've had a chance to watch the ones you haven't had a chance to watch yet. For those listening, thank you so much for coming back. Please subscribe to the show if you're enjoying it. Like the episode if you enjoyed. Share with your friends. It's so lovely to have you here. We're enjoying interacting with you guys in the comments and getting to hear your perspectives and hear about recommendations of things we should watch. So today we're doing something a bit different from what we've done so far. We're doing superheroes. And I think, I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I'm a Marvel girl. Like, I'm a deep-rooted Marvel girl. I really enjoy my Marvel movies. But for this, we decided to do Zack Snyder's Justice League. 4-hour cut. Zack Snyder's cut, right? Which is the only Justice League that matters, actually.
Yeah, because the best superhero is there. Batman.
We're going to get into that soon. So...
Hi, Superman guys. F you.
Actually, hi, JP.
JP is a Batman
He's a Batman guy, yeah.
so.
We're about to really get into that. So, a few details about the movie. So, the Zack Snyder cut came out in 2021. And it had an 8 rating, 8 flat, which this Zack Snyder cut is what got me into DC. I think it was fantastically done. I love the fact that it was so long because it gave time to air out the stories it didn't feel like a slow burn, even though the stories were aired out, in good time. It gave them time to breathe. A point of note, I think it would be important to watch Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, if I've not gotten that name wrong. Batman versus Superman. Yes, Dawn of Justice. I think it would be important to watch it just because the scene right at the beginning of Zack Snyder's cut is a scene from Batman versus Superman, and it gives context to part of the story as you begin, and when you're wondering, for example, where Superman is, right? So the premise of this show is pretty much.
Actually, it would be good to watch 2 other movies also.
What
Wonder Woman.
Right,
and
yeah,
Man of Steel.
Yes, because they were both.
So it gives you the whole storyline as you get to
until
Justice League. Yeah.
Actually, just for purposes of flow, because especially with this, the I don't know what they're called when they combine the superheroes into one film, like what they do with Marvel when it comes to Avengers. When they have culmination, it's important to know flow. So just for flow purposes, for this particular sequence and for this particular Justice League, there are different Batmans in different movies and different, Supermans in different movies.
Yeah.
There's only one Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But just for flow, so first of all, there was Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Then Batman versus Superman came.
Yeah.
Then Suicide Squad, though none of the Suicide Squad actors showcase in Justice League. And then Wonder Woman.
Suicide Squad is Will Smith.
Yes. Yeah? No? Okay.
Did Suicide Squad do it for you?
You know what? It was a fun pepeta. Or for context, pepeta is when there's a lot of boom
just
twaf.
action.
Yes,
Boom twaf.
action. Yes, boom twaf sana.
Rambunctious.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed also the fact that there were
Imagine the
different...
trailer was nice. That's
The
it.
trailer was nice.
Yeah, because it made you think that the movie was going to be awesome, but no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay, the one I didn't enjoy was the one that came after Birds of Prey.
Oh,
the one that not had Harley Quinn.
God.
I kind of felt like,
What were they trying to do?
I don't know.
I don't know what they've been trying to do. They've been doing these women empowerment things. You know it.
First of all, we are very big on women empowerment,
but come on.
Like,
It's like Ocean's 8. Come on.
Before we turn the theme of this podcast and this show, so the flow. So after Wonder Woman is where Justice League comes, and so one of the characters within Justice League is Aquaman. Aquaman comes after, the Aquaman film comes after Justice League. So of course Aquaman is introduced to us during Justice League. It's a 4-hour movie. I think we've mentioned that so far. So it's long. It actually took the cap from Avengers Endgame, which up until that time was the longest running superhero film.
How long was Avengers Endgame?
I think it was...
Was it like 3 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours
I
something.
believe it was 3 hours. So it took the cap from that. And it's all around just a really fantastic movie. The superheroes in this one are, of course, Batman, who's played by Ben Affleck. He's like a silver fox zaddy. He's wow.
Filet mignon
Filet
time.
mignon wagyu. My favorite,
Wagyu. Again.
my favorite. I think he's the most beautiful. He's the most beautiful white man, Henry Cavill. Yeah, he's so beautiful.
I think
In Witcher,
this is the only guy I've been able to watch as Superman.
Oh, and you haven't struggled?
I really don't like Superman as a character.
And you prefer Batman?
Yeah, I'm a Batman guy. I am. Yeah, that's just how I like it. I think Batman has more to him than
You've
Superman.
got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
What, in his pocket?
No.
Okay.
Just as a character.
You know what? Okay, let's get there.
Superman is just an alien with powers.
That's
it.
That's what a superhero is supposed to be. Not
No,
a guy with money who
a superhero
uses
doesn't need
without
to be
his
an
gun
alien.
that gives him, you know, what's the thing? The gun that gives him the traction. Without it, in a few scenes in this movie when he was about to fall, that would have been it. Man's done. Oh yeah, wait.
But why doesn't he fall? Why is he the one running
Because
the
the
show?
movie-
He's the puppet master.
Because he has money.
Because he has money.
And actually, I prefer Iron Man.
So money controls aliens also.
Money controls script.
So did he make the movie himself
You know what?
and
Let's
put
get
him
it.
in there?
Let me finish the
I love
characters.
this so much.
Superman. Henry
I love
Cavill.
this so much.
Henry Cavill, beautiful.
First of all,
gorgeous Henry Cavill.
before you even get into all that, remember why did Zack Snyder delay in making this movie?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I think that's
we'll also
part of
get
the
to that.
facts.
Yeah, so let me just run through who the actors are. There's Wonder Woman, who's of course played by Gal Gadot, Cyborg by Ray Fisher, Aquaman by the Jason Gorgeous Momoa, and Flash by Ezra Miller. Of course, the attempt to save the world from a catastrophic threat from Darkseid, who's played by Ray Porter, Steppenwolf by Ciaran Hinds. I hope I've pronounced that name right. It has an accent, and their army of parademons. So you've mentioned also that this movie took time. The original, not the original, I won't call it the original. The other Justice League was released, I believe, in 2017.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
By Joss Whedon.
Yeah, by Joss Whedon. I haven't.
They call it Justice League.
Justice League. Actually, there was a whole hashtag for release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And a fun fact, before we get into the reason, because it's quite sad, was one of the producers of this movie is Deborah Snyder, who's Zack Snyder's wife. And Deborah Snyder and Christopher Nolan told Zack not to watch the Justice League, the original, the other one, because it would break his heart. And I believe it definitely would have. Even the stories behind the scene, Joss Whedon did a terrible job with regards to creation of culture in the filming process and just the release of the actual film. It wasn't it by a long shot. Zack Snyder had begun the 2017 production, the direction and production of that movie. And then in the course of that, his daughter committed suicide. And because of that, he needed to take some time to spend with family and also heal and, and mourn as well. And what a sad moment for their family. Heartbreaking. The movie, the Zack Snyder Justice League is actually dedicated to his daughter. And it took people quite some time to just get back into the groove of things, and that's why the movie came out in 2021. And of course, to anyone who's struggling with a loss of the same nature, we send you love and grace in this situation.
Yeah, may she continue rest in peace.
Amen.
And I think also out of that was born something so beautifully. I don't think in movie history there's ever been a push like this. And it was over years, for Zack Snyder now to come out and actually make this movie like he did. As you mentioned, the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. That took over 180,000 petitioners. And year after year that came, it actually forced the hand of the studios. Which I don't think that's unprecedented in Hollywood. So there's a strong community out there, and it's beautiful to see. I think, despite the tragedy that befell him, I don't know. This is kind of like a saving grace, sort of. Of course, it can't replace his daughter, but
it was a shining light. And also the fact that they shared the love for film together.
Yeah.
I think that this was his shining light for her, just to mourn her with a beautiful work of art, because this movie is a beautiful work of art. And I watched it without knowing the story. And I remember when I watched it, I sent it to you and Jeeps.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I told both of you on a Sunday, I'm like, listen, I'm watching something, I'm 2 hours in, I have 2 more hours to go. It's called Zack Snyder's Cut. I don't know what is happening.
Like,
I'm losing my mind, and I need someone to talk to. And then JP sent me a picture of Legos. Was it like Legos or small toys that were Batman and Spider-Man and Superman? And I was like, this is why we're friends. This is why we're friends.
Have you ever watched the Lego movie?
No, don't. We're not going to go there. I'm not watching a Lego movie.
What?
I'm not watching a Lego movie.
Okay,
I'm
so you were convincing
animation.
me yesterday to watch some trash.
What was I convincing you to watch? Which one?
Now you're forgotten, conveniently.
Conveniently.
Let's forget.
That was yesterday.
Let's forget.
That was very much yesterday. Why are you dragging yesterday into today? We're in a different day. What was I telling him to watch?
It's a good movie.
It's actually
a good movie.
The Lego one?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
One of the best scripts you will ever watch on a screen,
I
actually.
don't think I can watch a Lego movie. I can't. I love animations, but when it...
This is not an animation.
It's a Lego movie.
It's a Lego. Lego is different. Lego is not animation.
So it's a toy movie?
Yes.
Is Toy Story an animation?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You know what?
There's a difference.
There's so many. There's
Legos and there's animation. This is a very good movie.
Should I really try it?
By the way, try it.
What's the rating for the Lego movie? What is it? 7 point? 7 point.
7.7.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Let me tell you, Lego is a beautiful movie. Watch it. Guys, if you have not watched this movie, watch it. It's one of those, by the way, it will catch you by surprise. I swear to you.
I like being caught by surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the plot of this movie, first of all, it's divided into 6 parts because it's 4 hours long. I'll walk us through just the titles of the 6 parts. Part 1, Don't Count on It, Batman. Part 2 is The Age of... Should we go through them step by step rather than...
Yeah, just
list them.
Better. Just list them.
So part 1 is Don't Count on It, Batman. Yeah. Part 2, The Age of Heroes.
Yeah.
Part 3, Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. I found that was a beautiful name. Part 4, Change Machine. Part 5, All the King's Horses. I think that was my favorite part, actually. In part 6, Something Darker. So, the plot of the movie is, as I described earlier, there are these 3 boxes called mother boxes that were dispersed into different worlds, so to speak. And now there is this evil threat called Darkseid, who's one of his soldiers, I would say, Steppenwolf, has come to collect the mother boxes and combine them in something called the Unity. And there's also the concept of something called the anti-life. Some of these concepts in this movie and themes reminded me a lot of Avengers Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot that you can actually,
Yeah, there are a few themes that run across.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I'm a very big Marvel girl, but this movie was beautifully done. So, one other thing to mention, music is also a really important part of this film. It was done by Tom Holkenberg. He was worked with Hans Zimmer to do Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. As I mentioned, it would be important to watch it before watching this. Even if you don't watch all the movies, it would be important to watch. I feel like
at least that one will be integral to
especially the core part of part 5 in this movie. And he's also composed things like Divergent, Tomb Raider, Godzilla vs. King Kong, Army of the Dead, and so on and so forth. The music is very, very well done in this film. So let's talk about your Batman.
He's not my Batman. He's everyone's
he seems
Batman.
to be. Okay. So tell me why are you so I won't call it infatuated.
I'm not infatuated.
What do you think is so great about him?
Everything.
Okay, give me. Let's start
His
with one.
story, first of all,
is
way better than Superman's story for me. And this is a personal thing. You can't make me like someone else. You know?
No.
So for me, I'm the one who's being asked the question, right? So I'm answering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, Batman has a way better story. He has a way better origin story
Right, okay.
than Superman.
Yeah.
Some guy who was born in a pod somewhere.
Right.
Where nobody
So
knows. And he was thrown to Earth.
So it's Kal-El's fault for being born with his powers?
It's not his fault.
Right, yeah. So
it's not his fault. I just think it's a better story that Batman has.
Right.
Yeah. And in all this, the guy who calls shots is Batman.
And that's only because for the first 3/4 of this movie, Superman was dead.
So who looked for the people to bring Superman
back? No, but I'm
back
saying,
to life?
you
who
said
looked
something.
For the people?
You said something and I'm responding to it. You said that he's the leader of the pack, right?
He is.
And that's because for the first 3/4 of this movie, Superman was not there.
Okay.
So
I don't know if have you read the comics?
I have not.
You have not?
I have not.
So I don't know, Roy, maybe you can help us here. Even in the comics, when Superman goes apeshit, who brings him back down to earth? Who controls him? Who has everybody's card in that group?
That sounds like a very good PA.
It's not a PA. It's not a PA. He's one who runs the show.
Yes, and PAs do run the show.
Yeah. Which PAs run the show?
They run the show. Like if you think about it, the person who runs
a PA will not be able to destroy their boss. They won't.
First of all, are we talking about the movies now? Because I can't speak on the comics.
We're talking about the movie.
Right?
We're talking about the movie.
How do you think he destroyed him? Are we talking about
let me tell you,
Batman versus Superman?
For these, yes, this is Batman versus Superman. This is Justice League. This is everything.
He didn't destroy
Batman
him.
Is.
He didn't destroy him.
No.
He thought he could have, and maybe he might have had the chance to. But really, do you think that he would have
But he can. He always has the means, and if that's why I brought up the comics. If you look at the comics, he has destroyed him on more than one occasion.
Okay, so
this is based on a comic.
Right.
This is based on a story written by someone.
Right.
This is not something I am making up to make Batman look good.
Right.
This is how it has been told.
Right.
For years.
Right.
Yeah. So many guys who are being introduced to the Batman Superman story on screen and may not be aware of the comics, miss out on a lot of things.
Right.
They miss out on a lot of things. Yeah.
So, but for the majority of people who maybe are like me, and I'll say majority because I think the majority of people haven't necessarily read the comics, right? So we are carrying these movies based on their own right, like on their own strengths.
If
on
you
their
want
own
to,
depictions.
If you want to, that's based on you, because you see, you can't say a movie is based on a book and then say fuck the book.
But
you can't.
But
all these comics come from all these movies come from comics. All of them come from comics. They have not come from thin air. They didn't come from Zack Snyder's head. They came from comics which have been there for many years.
Right.
And these comics have stories, and they have taken from these stories.
Right.
Actually, they have borrowed from these stories. So these stories are the ones which are now put on screen.
Right.
So we can't now say we don't consider the comics.
I'm not saying don't consider them. I'm actually not saying don't consider them. I'm just saying for the majority of people who have not read the comics. And also, it is a matter of fact that when a movie is a depiction from a book, the screenplay takes precedent, right? Because the assumption is not maybe everyone. Actually, majority of people may not have read
the book,
right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with the comics, yeah? So when we're just carrying it based on the strength of the films alone. I personally think that Superman is a way better superhero. It's perspective.
For you, that's the way you look at it.
I think he's a way better superhero because of the concept of superhero. Right?
That's fair enough for you. How you are introduced to a superhero.
And then the hero.
Fair
right?
Enough.
And I'm not talking about a great individual who's doing the best he can and using all his funds to carry out good deeds in the world, which that one, Batman takes the cup. But as a superhero,
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I just
support who you want.
It
doesn't change my mind.
Because I think a lot of the conversation when it comes to the DC universe is a lot of it is it's like a Manu Arsenal kind of conversation. It's always Batman versus Superman conversation. A lot of people like having that tete-a-tete. So I just thought it would be important for us to, so I think you're great. Batman is great. And I also said at the beginning, I really love Ben Affleck.
You say that after shitting on him.
I'm not shitting on him.
It's fair enough.
I'm not shitting.
You can have your opinion and it's valid.
I'm speaking facts about it.
It is important. It is beautiful.
I love how
But
it's really chic
at
at
the
you.
end of the day, me, I'll stick to my Batman. I've stuck to Batman for years, and I stay with him.
It's perfectly fine. I'm
Stick
just
to your
saying
Superman.
he's a great guy who wants to do, but also he has a great origin story. I really enjoy, no matter what film it is I watch Batman in. Even when I watch Batman, when he was Christian Bale, I
And
also really enjoyed The Dark Knight.
make for better films. If you look at the Superman films.
True. Okay, I'm not even going to deny that. I won't even deny that, by the way. I enjoyed the Batman films.
Actually, if he's not allied to Batman, there's no mystery. There's nothing. Like, what is a Superman movie? What are you going to tell us?
Well, maybe it's
he's
because
going to beat everyone up and the movie is done. There's nothing.
Isn't that the idea behind a superhero?
A hero has to overcome something.
Well,
yes. You see, and you're tongue-tied now.
No, but
usually a hero has to overcome something. Why are you a hero? What are you heroing?
The situation.
Yeah.
Which you get to overcome. Whatever situation is being brought before you.
What is there for Superman to overcome? Death.
Well, yes.
Helped by Batman. Anyway, guys, we're getting away from the movie of the day.
So back to this brilliant movie. So we're just gonna go part by part now and just discuss it.
Yeah.
So part one, we are introduced to Aquaman. Finest Jason Momoa. You didn't like Aquaman?
There's a story that came out about that Jason Momoa guy and his kids, which you remember?
We were just discussing this.
I
didn't know the story. We were just discussing with Roy, like right before this, we were discussing the separation between the artist and the art. So walk me through what happened, because I don't know the story.
Oh man, there were some videos on IG of him and his daughter, and they seemed to be like groping her, like on the chest and stuff.
The youngest, the
young girl,
the young girl.
Have you seen it?
Oh my god!
You haven't seen it? Has any of you guys seen it? I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I sent it to a few guys that at the time. I think Aquaman was out at the time. I can't remember what it was. But I was just like, And when a lot of this pedo Epstein stuff was going around. So I don't know. I really struggle to watch him nowadays.
Yeah, I fully understand that actually.
So I don't know. By the way, it could have been very innocent. But it looked
mad.
It just marred my view of him, which is, I guess, a very human thing
of course
to do. So I really struggled with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But anyway, filet mignon.
Hey, no, let's just move right on, honey. We're also introduced not introduced to Wonder Woman, but in the film we're introduced to her at this point.
Yeah, in the film. Yeah.
The Wonder Woman score is my favorite score of the entire DC universe.
Oh, I might have to go and listen to that again.
Because
they used the original. Was that from the Wonder Woman like cartoons that we used to watch back in the days? Or was that a new original?
It's actually I think I had gotten the name of the gentleman who composed it. I'll find it for us later. Then it's just so it's enchanting. It sounds Amazonian almost, and I don't know why I assume that I know what Amazonian sounds like. But I've decided that sound just makes me think of the Amazon and the women and I love the sound. So we're introduced to her. I really love the slow motion, the slow-mo scenes that were done during her introduction into the film. I really enjoyed that. I feel like I enjoyed, when it comes to Wonder Woman, I enjoyed her first movie more than I enjoyed. It was 1984. Where did they even come up with 47? Have you watched Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I watched it. I liked it. Yeah, that was actually a good superhero movie, like by itself.
Yes, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And Gal Gadot is beautiful, and she's strong and capable and intelligent and graceful and just wow.
Are we still talking about?
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
Are we still talking about Wonder Woman, or are we talking about something else?
Goodness, and then we also introduced to. Together. And then we're introduced to Steppenwolf. I think Ciarán Hinds did a fantastic job with that.
I think he makes voice. The movie.
Yeah, Steppenwolf.
Yes.
I have a thing though. Okay, so there's a point where Steppenwolf is finally before Darkseid, and he takes off his armor, like it automatically comes off, and he looked like a puppy.
What? Oh, the small face. Okay, I get what you're saying. Do you know?
I had to pause because I couldn't stop laughing. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Like it discombobbled me, sana.
Do you know what it reminds me of? There's a movie there's a movie where there's something similar, where there's like a small alien controlling like a big body. What is that movie called? Is it like kind of like Men in Black? There's also another
hilarious.
Misty, don't kill Mighty Steppenwolf for me.
There was nothing mighty about that Steppenwolf. Let me tell you.
Oh no!
I could not stop laughing. I could not stop laughing.
Oh my goodness!
But the voice done by Ciara, and I hope you're pronouncing.
But not only
right.
The voice, even the action scenes, the way he was like badass, you know,
and also the way every scene that he came into, whether in the beginning when he went into the Amazon, into the Amazon stronghold, and he. That's the quotes that he would give right before he begins.
And the arrogance and the might.
And also just the strength of that character. Just
he was a bad man.
He was a bad man. And not Steppenwolf, that's Darkseid. Darkseid reminded me now where I relate it a lot to Darkseid. Darkseid.
They just spell it like how you'd say it. S-I-E-D.
Yeah.
And actually on that note, babe, there's this where Darkseid comes from. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Do you know what it's called? Apocalypse. Apokolyps.
What's that?
Apocalypse. That's where Darkseid comes from. Like that's his planet. That's his planet.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he hails from.
It's called Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Wow. Get back in the game.
I was waiting for you. I've been waiting for 12 hours for you to get that. I died when I was when I was in the chat rooms and I was like, wait, is this like a typo? I was like, yeah, it's called Apocalypse. And actually, even in the comics, that's the name still.
Right.
Apocalypse. I was done. What? I was laughing my head off, actually.
So Darkseid.
Yeah, Darkseid.
Darkseid reminded me of Thanos.
Brilliant. It's just that they didn't showcase much of him in this movie, which I thought was so... Because I wanted to see like a big boy fight, you know?
Me too.
Like I wanted to see in the comics, Superman and Darkseid is a brilliant fight. Because those are guys who are like, it was when Darkseid...
That's what Darkseid?
Superman and Darkseid.
Wow, I would have loved to watch that.
It is. Yeah.
I would have loved to watch that. And I also think
I'm able to give flowers.
Oh my goodness, honey. I have not said there's anything wrong with Batman.
Hater gade.
So
sip somebody's hater gade.
The scene also where Darkseid comes to Earth and he's fighting against the Amazonians, the Atlanteans, yes, and the men, like men. That's just it, yeah. I also felt like I wanted more of him in that scene, even if not at the end, because Steppenwolf was there for the majority of the film, and they were playing into that and him collecting the mother boxes, gathering the mother boxes. I think that's that scene that I wanted to see a bit more of it, but they overpowered him so fast, and I was like, oh,
exactly,
no.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm sorry, I keep referring to Roy when it comes to this. Darkseid in the comics was way stronger.
Right.
Very strong. And that's why it like man. Superman and Darkseid was...
I would actually love...
That would be an epic battle.
I would love to watch that movie.
I don't know if you remember, which other epic battle did you see in... maybe to take you back to your favorite universe, the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Which fight did you really, really love?
Like other than Thanos?
Just in terms of like people being matched in terms of their powers.
Captain America and Iron Man, I also really enjoyed
when they came head to head. That was a good one.
I enjoyed that very much. Civil War.
That was Civil War.
It was also Batman versus Superman. Like it related to me in that sense.
Okay.
The two of them. Of course, Thanos. First of all, Josh Brolin as Thanos.
Can anyone really match Thanos though, one-on-one? If you look at it.
I feel like Thor might have if he didn't have so many falls from glory. Like there was so much going on in his personal story.
Yeah.
Right? Even with it was called a hammer, right? Even with his hammer. It was a hammer. What was it?
Yeah.
That was hammer. Yeah. Before it became the super califragilistic thing that it became.
Yeah.
His own story, there was a lot, I think, going on. But I also really enjoyed how he was like at the end in the final battle with Thanos. I think maybe Thor for me, maybe in the same way Superman went against Darkseid in this universe. Maybe Actually, I would really love us to have a short part of our next season where we discuss Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, we must.
Yeah, because
like Marvel has
I would just love to get back into that wormhole.
Actually, very many good movies.
So
Anything
many.
other than Ant-Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you. Though
That
the actor,
one of the
Paul
most
Rudd,
useless.
Paul Rudd is really he's cute.
He's
great.
a cute guy.
I want to hang out with him.
But that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Him and Steppenwolf, same. You actually, bestie, you have ruined. You're ruining it. You're ruining it. You've actually ruined. Do you know how I was going to get into a whole session about Steppenwolf?
I don't mind you doing it. Just think about it.
I can't
think
do it
about
right
him
now.
with his.
You've actually shut on another thing that I love.
Think about
and
it.
And I am so distraught. I can't. I actually can't do this anymore.
Okay.
No, so it's done. I was going to get into the scenes and how Steppenwolf was commanding shit and beating up people,
just remember, underneath everything,
men and women. He was an equal opportunity destroyer, Like, I was going to get into it. And then and now I can't unsee it. And now I'm just seeing his little teeth as he talks. Oh my goodness. Mighty Steppenwolf shall be back or not.
Actually, this is
shit. Oh my goodness.
T for tough, man. I can't wait for you to watch it again.
Hey, life is hard. I imagine that movie is now done for me. I can't go back. Do you know and remember I keep telling you, a movie like in these superhero movies, if the villain is not up to scratch.
Right, that's true. The villain makes the hero.
Usually makes the hero better.
It's true.
And I think maybe one of the things that was kind of a bit disappointing about this movie, like the only thing, is how quickly Superman dispatched of Steppenwolf, Because like that was like, it was kind of an anticlimactic, Like it felt...
That's because he's Superman.
Yeah, it's fair enough. So we didn't get, like
the battle that you wanted.
In Endgame, we got like the big,
right?
The big battle at the end.
Because people had to come back from I don't say it because I don't to spoil it before we get a chance to tell you guys to watch it. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think also the beautiful story, the thing about the story of Steppenwolf is how he was able to demarcate. Was it demarcate? Is the word demarcate? No, it's desecrate. Every part of the story where he came in to get a mother box, he was really a bad man in those ones. He was a bad man. Yeah. Like he was a bad man. My favorite part, actually, I think, is when he was fighting the Amazonians.
He showed them no respect at all.
Beautiful.
He was actually quite disrespectful to them. And then also, their horses.
We love animals in this show.
No animals were harmed in the filming of these scenes.
I also really loved how the women were willing to sacrifice themselves for the purposes of the greater good. Like it was just...
But basically, there was a part which I really didn't like. When they sent the black woman to check on the box first, I really didn't like that part. That had a hint of racism, a hint of movie racism, which has been long-standing. You know how the black people always die fast. And you should have seen her face. By the way, she really killed that role.
Yeah, she did.
That 2-minute role.
She did fantastic.
And she was sneaking with the sword to the box. And she was just like, okay,
and then it's there just
Father Lord, it's me again. I come to you as a humble servant. Anyway, it was still a good scene. And the Amazonians really did their part in it. But they were really decimated by Steppenwolf.
I think also of the 3 boxes, it was the other one was the Atlanteans. And the Atlanteans, they were not that many.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a fight. There wasn't necessarily a fight to put up because the only person who was there really was Aquaman and Mira, I think. Yeah.
Amber Heard.
Oh wow. Let me tell you, actually, this a lot of this movie did not age well.
This.
A lot of this movie did not age well because with regards to the actors, not the characters. So yes, of course, there's the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation.
Maybe if she tried to shit on Steppenwolf, maybe it would have gotten her somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, guys.
You are a sensational human being. You are sensational. That's what you are.
I can't help it. Imagine this thing was Who would have known
goodness.
when we were reviewing this movie?
Yeah, that
all
you would
this
have
shit
said, yeah.
would have gone down.
Can you imagine? Can you
on
imagine?
the bed and otherwise.
And all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So we've gotten through. This is it. We've gone through part 1 of Don't Count on It, Batman. Which was actually a line that was said, I believe, by Aquaman to Batman when he'd gone to recruit him.
Yeah.
So we go to part 2, The Age of Heroes, which is where we're introduced to Barry Allen as Flash, Victor Stone as Cyborg. Yes, and we have now the scene where Steppenwolf goes to the Amazonians to collect the first mother box.
Yeah, I actually like Victor Stone's story also.
I really loved
Victor Stone's story. I love the struggle. I love the conflict for am I this? Right. What am I? Am I a monster? Am I don't know. I kind of love that bit where like the hero is trying to figure themselves out. Mm-hmm. I think they did it very well with Victor in the movie. They actually all the origin stories that we were given were really good. Yeah. But I specifically
enjoyed that one.
Enjoyed the Victor Stone one.
I agree with you very much. There are a few parts I enjoyed about his story. For one, I keep on relating it a lot to Marvel. Yeah. I think Cyborg in some ways reminded me of Vision from Marvel. Okay. I think it's the intelligence, or even just think Lucy, the movie with Scarlett Johansson. I know it's not like the best movie, but just that all-knowing intelligence of the character. I also really loved the father-son story. I loved just the sacrifices that the dad made even towards the end. When he died, and that this disdain with which his son was carrying him because he was never there. Now he'd lost his mother. I loved that story. Like, I think it was a beautiful story, and it's the same way. And I will repeat, I love the Batman story. I love the Batman. I really do love the Batman story, and I loved it in this movie as well. Like, I loved how they portrayed the story there as well.
What did you think? What do you think of Victor's powers?
I think.
Let me add a bit more to the question. Based on where his powers came from. What do you think of his powers vis-a-vis where his powers came from?
I think he has a lot more to show us.
Exactly, that's the thing, To show us.
But you see, you also need to understand he's at his baby level of his understanding his powers. Sure. He was probably in understanding like maybe a few weeks before Wonder Woman had come to find him. Yeah, right. So. For sure. I think
there's in the next films,
there's so much more we're going to see to him. So much more to get to see to him. Yeah. I think his intelligence is also a brilliant part. Like just his ability to be everywhere and do everything all at once. Yeah. So
soon come, guys. Soon
come. So yeah, I enjoyed that story very much. Yeah. Then of course we hear the story of Darkseid, where we get to see how he came to Earth when he was looking for the mother boxes in the beginning, and of course the mother boxes were then separated and divided. One was given to men, like the Earth people. I don't know what they were called. I forget. Actually, now if you think about it,
usually she likes men.
Sana.
Usually.
Sana.
Yeah, filet mignon is a reference. Not only as pieces of meat,
even as individuals.
Supreme pieces of meat.
Yes, I do. Especially black men. You're great. So, if you think about it now, just to a small dig, So there were the Atlanteans. One was given to the Atlanteans. Yeah. One mother box was given to the Amazonians, right? Yeah. Then there was, of course, I think it was Zeus who was also in the gods. The gods were there. Yeah. Of course, the gods were going to go wherever the gods go, so they weren't going to get a mother box. Then, of course, the Earthmen, right? You know who? Now, if you think about it now, who the Earthmen are. Yeah. The leader of the Earthmen is Batman. Yeah. They don't even have a name.
That's fine.
T for tough.
I know.
So then we move to Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. I really loved the title of this part. I think it's a beautiful title. We get to just hear a lot more about the story of Barry. I really loved the scene where he stole a hot dog. That was actually, I was going to mention that was actually one of my funniest scenes. It was one of the best and funniest scenes in that segment. Yeah, it was also that to find out now, sadly, that Ezra Miller also has shady. Oh yeah, shady.
That guy is called Ezra Miller.
Yes, apparently he's currently like run away with an 18-year-old. who he decided grooming when she was much younger. So this movie is just tainted with a lot of scandal, especially for the actors. So it's sad. I really found that part fun.
Just maybe to segue into what you guys were discussing earlier, like what were you talking about in terms of like separating the art and the artist? Can you do it?
That was the question.
Can you or does it depend on the crime or the...
I struggle. Actually, the big conversation we're having was about Spacey.
About
Spacey.
Oh.
Yeah. That it's a heartbreak for me. I love him as an actor so much. I love his body of work so much. I'm getting to know a lot more about his body of work now, especially doing this. It's have
you found that like once you really love a particular individual, then find out about what they've done afterwards, there's a bit of
struggle.
Yeah, there's a bit more struggle than if you found out about the incident beforehand and then you just say, nope, I won't do this. I won't involve myself in this. I don't know if you've noticed that. Because I find like with guys I've known like Kevin Spacey, like I already like loved his movies and his body of work before. Then when you find out the stories, you're like,
why now? Why are you doing this?
It's an R. Kelly thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like guys are so conflicted, like with the music and everything, and you're still ignitioning and
heavy, actually.
You can't escape the fact that, you know. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but I guess it's not something that maybe a personal thing.
It's a personal thing, and also, different people have different perspectives on it. And different people have different struggles with it as well,
exactly.
Right? And I think the best we can do is just respect everyone's struggle as they are, trying to contemplate how to move forward with the facts that they now have. Huh?
Well put, Bestie. I think that's fair enough.
So beloved mother, beloved son. Barry, and of course, what we just mentioned about him. Batman meets Barry at this point, and Diana meets Victor at this point to try and convince them to come in to the Justice League.
And please, let's not forget the cute chick who Barry saved.
Oh, yes. She was there for all of Iris. She was there for all of that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She was cute.
That's enough.
She's very cute.
Yeah.
She's a very cute girl. And I love some of the films she's been in also. She's a great actress. She's a great actress.
Okay.
So then part 4, Change Machine.
Yeah.
That's when they make a really big decision.
Yeah.
Because Barry says something. He says, I'm really missing Superman right now. And that's, I think, the preamble for what's about to happen. Steppenwolf retracts his shield when he meets Darkseid, and that's why he's the really cute puppy. Actually, he's not even a wolf, he's a puppy. Darkseid. Why do I keep on saying Darkseid?
Because of the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the way. Like apartheid.
Because side is, for me, side is IDE.
Yeah.
Guys, please forgive me if I just keep on doing it.
No, but it's okay.
Darkseid.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now the mother boxes are described by Cyborg. Victor Stone is able to describe what they're able to do and just the strength they wield.
Yeah.
And he calls them change machines.
And this is the first part where I saw a bit of weakness maybe in Steppenwolf also. In his exchange with, it's called Desad.
Desad.
You know, like when... he also had to be like a little bitch, kidogo. You know,
it's because
that thing for bow down, and he had to.
I think it's also the origin story of the fact that he had screwed them over.
Yeah, he had screwed them over.
So now, all he's doing now is just trying to win his chance to be back.
Yeah, so validation. I feel like that. It kind of takes away from his badassness.
Right.
Like a badass is
right.
Like. I hate to do this. If you compare again to the Marvel universe, like Thanos is a bad. Right, but you see, Thanos, I wouldn't compare Thanos to Steppenwolf. You wouldn't, right? But you see, because we didn't get the Darkseid battle at the end. Right, okay, so you don't get to see the extent to which carry that character. Exactly. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you now. I'm with you. Okay. And that's what I was saying. That was like a small. Right, yeah, it made you go like, Yeah. Yeah. Like, is that, Is that all? Yeah, not is that all, but I wanted a bit more. At the end. I'm with you. I get that very much so. I get that. And then in part 5, all the King's horses and Superman comes back to life. And I think that's actually, when
I texted you guys and I told you, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on.
But please.
This thing has got me fucked up. I need to talk to someone.
Call the cavalry.
I need to talk to someone. Like, I just need to talk to someone and tell them, you know that part? What are you feeling? How are you feeling? Because me, I can tell you what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of emotions.
And you know, bestie, do you know what I liked about that scene? Like, Superman was a motherfucker.
Yeah, bad man.
He was a motherfucker. There's this Superman where he's wearing the
black.
The black. And I told you, I love Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yes.
Like, he's actually...
Yes.
Like, if you were to imagine Superman, most people would imagine him looking like that. He's done it perfectly. The guys who casted him in that role,
yes, they did a brilliant job.
And then now the fact that now he was just a bad motherfucker beating everybody up.
I feel like the reckless abandon.
I love to see. Let me tell you.
Bias.
I think maybe a part of the fact that why I really don't lean towards Superman a lot is that I don't see enough of that darkness sometimes.
Okay, got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Also, Metropolis.
There's this thing there's this guy called Jordan B. Peterson.
Yes.
Who talks about like a man needs to be dangerous, but he needs to be able to control it.
Danger. Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's
such a very sexy concept. Huh?
You know, like he's like, I can do all this shit, but I choose not to. So in this scene, for me, Superman. You get to like see. I saw him in like another light and I was like, fuck, I fucking love this shit.
Did you? Yeah.
And Kwanzaa, one scene that I particularly liked is when Barry was trying to run around him and then he realized, oh fuck, this guy is also like, this guy is also just as quick as me. And then he turned and looked at him. At this time, he's holding back Wonder Woman and
holding back Aquaman. And then Cyborg was trying to hold his bicep. And then his eyes turned. And then he cleared them and then turned and he just tripped him. And the thing is, the only reason Barry fell, I mean, it's Flash Barry fell is because he was trying to duck. Actually, I really liked that character. And I loved Ezra is such a disappointing story for me because I loved him as Barry Allen. I just love the quirkiness of his character. I thought the Flash, the series, the guy who acts in it, I don't think matches that quirkiness for me. He doesn't do it for me. I really loved Ezra Miller.
And you know what else I loved about this thing? It's like Flash was watching a movie within a movie. Let me explain why I think this. Because for him, he was meeting his heroes. So every hero he met was like, oh my God, Batman, oh my God, Superman, oh my God, Nini. So for him, he was watching his heroes while he's also in the movie, like being a hero, you know.
Do you remember when Batman came to recruit him and then he was talking like, 1 minute, yes. I mean.
You've convinced me. You've convinced me.
That was so cute. I was like, yes.
It was the best. And he carried with it all through. Like, it was really dope.
Yes,
all through
actually, he was like a kid in a candy
And remember, he's so integral to this movie.
Yes.
Because without him, all these guys would be dead.
Actually, it's true.
All these guys would be gone and dead.
It's very true.
I think that, I don't know if guys really realize how important he is to that.
Actually, I think that was my favorite part of the movie. The fact that it was Barry Allen who saved the day. Like, without him, everyone would have been... Yeah. Bomberclat. Does that mean done? Bomberclat.
It can mean done. It's like an exclamation too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Superman coming back. And then just him being a bad man. I get what you're saying now about... We've never explored his dark side.
Yeah.
And getting to explore his dark side in this film, I think because I watched Batman vs. Superman back to back.
Yeah.
Getting to explore that even in Batman vs. Superman, I was like,
it was nice.
This is it. Like, this is the thing that's missing. Yeah. Another thing about the Superman storyline that I'm not a fan of is the Clark Kent thing. I just think wearing glasses does not give you a disguise. I don't get that thing. I need someone to fix it. I don't know who's...
Actually, someone called a plot hole in this movie. There's a point where they're in the farm or something, and he doesn't have his specs. And they were saying that guys should have recognized that this is not Clark Kent, but Superman.
Maybe in the end when now Superman is getting his family back into back into a home, and then he asks Batman, how did you get the house back from the bank? And he says, I bought the bank.
Yeah.
Even me, I was like, okay, sawa, basi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Batman.
Hey, Batman. Okay, so I wouldn't deny.
He has his moments.
He does have his moments. Even when Barry Allen asks him, so I haven't asked this. What's your superpower? And he says, I'm rich.
Ooh, and the car. Wait, is it called a coupe or what is that Benz called? Psh, man.
Gorgeous. That's what it's called.
Oh my goodness.
And then of course now we're in part 6, Something Darker, which is the culmination of the entire film.
Yeah.
Now Superman has come back to life. He's been able to kind of remember who he is by virtue of Lois. I don't, anyway.
No, just say it. Because I'm probably thinking the same thing.
I'm not a very big fan of, I forgot her name. The lady who acted as Lois Lane.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. I love Amy Adams in film. I think she's a brilliant actress. I did not like her as Lois Lane at all. I didn't like her in Batman vs. Superman as Lois Lane. I didn't like her in this as Lois Lane. In Batman vs. Superman, she did not tell him she loves him back once. By the way, this man out here professing his damn love. He was not told I love you back once. I was like, okay, I guess, when we're, for the patriarchy, that one you all took a hit. But I struggled with her, and I don't know what it is about her. I didn't feel like, because the story of Lois and Clark is a love story. That's the idea behind it. I didn't feel like there was that much. I feel like there was a devotion, but especially in his death.
Ooh.
But in his
you feel
life,
like it's more of a devotion than a love,
yes.
like than an eros.
I even feel like it was more about Superman than it was about Clark for her. And Clark was really, if you think about it, even when you look at Martha, Clark
girls be attracted to power.
And I'm not saying that. maybe that's what I don't like.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
my lack of appeal. I struggled a bit. I haven't really put my finger on what it was.
Yeah.
But I struggled with her as Lois Lane.
Do you know what that whole? I don't know. I don't know if they gave us much of her in this story.
Yeah, she wasn't there
like
much.
in this movie, a lot of the characters have been well built, so you really can't call any of the heroes out, because the origin stories were so well built. You're like, oh, I love it when Barry came. I love it when so and so came. But her, she's just there. She's just there.
Just there.
Yeah, like she was mourning. She was like, I don't think there's much she could have done in the movie at any point, which is so unfortunate. But yeah.
So Superman goes back to his family farm, and from there he goes to the ship. I loved the part where there's the conversations between both his fathers were speaking to him, Jor-El and Jonathan, as he was walking into the ship. I think to get, of course, his suit, and then also find his way back to the team. There's a scene now where he flies up to the top of the world. That image, like that still, I thought was gorgeous. Yeah. It was a gorgeous still. Now the fight scene. Now there's a big fight scene with Steppenwolf, right? At this point, before Superman comes, it's pretty much just a lot of it is Aquaman and Wonder Woman, because Batman is also trying to make sure that all the other parademons are not, so they don't interrupt what Flash is trying to do, what Barry is trying to do. And I really loved the fact that Barry saved the day in this part. Like I thought, and then the way he was, like, as he was doing that final lap, the way he was speaking, like speaking to himself, the monologue that was going on, I also found that very beautiful.
He's also another guy whose powers, I think, have not fully been explored. Yeah, because I feel like he's a lot more powerful. I think even based on the comics, he can do a lot more. And you remember you mentioned there's a Flash movie coming up.
Yes, yeah.
That
I don't know if they're still going to do it now, or they're going to delay it for a bit now because of the Ezra Miller issue. I think they're trying to change the actor. Yeah, so it's, I guess, now figuring out who will take that.
Because Flash has a lot of
also
potential.
being able to manipulate time.
Yes, that he has a lot of potential.
I love that concept. Yeah. So keen to see what now they do moving forward.
Yeah.
With the characters from there. I also loved the fact that everyone had their strengths here. You see the physical strength of Wonder Woman and Aquaman in the fight scene. You see just matter, kind of manipulation of matter strength that Cyborg has to be able to separate before he needed the help of Superman. He was doing a Batman thing right there. And then you see also the strength of Flash with what he was doing. I'm not going to say that Batman was not strong. He was strong.
Actually,
strong. He did a great job.
And because of that, let me
Everyone was doing a great job.
let me tell you something I read like in one of the chat rooms.
Yeah.
Someone said Wonder Woman is like a fetish.
Walk me through that.
Right. And you
okay.
say the truth. What does that sound like?
If you don't get it, forget about it.
And that thing has not left me since then.
Because her whip is what it means. He manipulates you to say the truth. Hey, if you want to know about that, meet us behind the tent. Did you just sing a Rihanna song?
A song a moment.
I love to see it.
But you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Actually, no, you can't unsee it.
You can't.
I love that. Okay.
And even the way she's dressed,
yes,
the thigh-high boots, everything.
Especially the
there.
dressing. I've always thought that was a fetish. Yeah, I've always thought about that. Yeah.
Now we have something even to read up on.
Right.
A bit more, and probably the audience too. Yeah.
So we can discuss it next time.
Yeah.
And then for me, I think the end part when they had cleared everyone, they cut off Steppenwolf's head. Then they all came up.
Okay, Steppy.
And then there was Steppy.
Steppy
baby.
Steppy baby.
I've really reduced that.
Actually, what's wrong with you, bestie? You've killed.
To nothing. All I needed was words. That's amazing. The side profile shot that they took when they all came up, when they had cleared now, and then they were coming up now to get onto the ship.
Okay,
and there's a side profile shot that's also one of some of the artwwork is out of that side profile shot. I thought that was a beautiful shot. Very well done.
His what's it called? Cinematography all through.
Yeah.
His CGI especially was very, very good in the movie. Like tunapenda kudanganywa lakini tunapenda kudanganywa vizuri. You know, like it was really, really dope. There was no point where I felt like, it's so true. You know, like it was really, really well done. Yeah,
there was no blundering. They followed through and they did it very well. Like I think now watching classics and then watching films, like watching Gladiator, right? And then watching films now and being able to understand how CJ has been able to develop over time.
Yeah, evolve.
I think I'm even more impressed when I watch current films. I'm more impressed with how far they've come. It's amazing.
And again, I delve into my conspiracy theory side.
Okay.
Like, what can't they reproduce? You know, like, just food for thought, guys, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. Half of these people really alive. Are we really here, guys?
Are we us?
Is us we?
Are we? Is that French?
We?
Anyway,
gosh, yeah.
Let's wrap this up then.
I think that's it for me. Anything you'd like to tell people to watch that we haven't already talked about? Any movie that you watched recently?
Along the same lines or just any movie?
Let's talk any movie.
Okay. Oh, there's a movie I really love by Jason. Hi, Jason. Statham. Revolver. I really love that movie. I really love that movie. And I've seen guys trash it online. And of the Guy Ritchie movies, I feel like it's apparently ranked as one of his worst. But I really love that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, Roy, you've watched Revolver? What do you think of it?
Compared to the other one?
As a standalone?
The standalone is cool, but you always compare it to like Lockstock.
Yeah, and that's I don't know, man. I guess it's also just a human thing. You know, like if this is what you've done, I'll look at what you've done before also and see, okay, is this as good? Is this but I think it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Watch it. Let's see, make up your own mind.
Okay. My recommendation, so it's a horror thriller. It's called I See You. I think I'd describe it more as a thriller, but I know there are people who maybe describe it as a horror. It's called I See You.
Scaredy cat.
Yeah.
I see you. Not chicken shit.
It's a 2019 film. It has a 6.8 rating, which is it's not like I wouldn't say it's a classic movie, like one of those like you need to watch it.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. The theme is about something called frogging. And I'm not going to go into any more. Please don't even Google what frogging is.
Damn. Okay.
Just watch that movie and let it surprise you. Okay. So the plot is pretty much a family live in a house and they're being tormented by something.
Okay.
They're being tormented by something in their home that's kind of making things move and do things, and it's very eerie and creepy. And just to know to watch the full story to its culmination and understand it, and then know that frogging is actually a real thing that happens in America. I really enjoyed that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be a good watch if you're not easily terrified.
Cool.
Yeah. So guys, that was it from us. This is a great episode. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing this with you, Bestie. It's fantastic.
I love when we get into it.
Yeah.
This is an epic movie.
Yes.
It's a must watch.
Sure. Definitely.
It's a beautiful movie to watch.
Yeah,
it was well constructed.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. And yeah, it's an ode to cinema.
Yes.
I'd say. Yeah.
And Zack Snyder did a sensational job. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also done things like Watchmen.
Yeah.
Which, let me tell you, Watchmen is also
actually, Watchmen is one of those would have been a recommend, actually, for sure.
Yes, actually, I don't know why we didn't think of that one and Sucker. Have you watched Sucker Punch?
Yeah, Sucker Punch is dope.
Yes. He even did 300 that we were talking about, Juicy.
Oh, he's on who did 300.
Yeah, he directed 300, right? Yeah.
Oh, damn. And now I'm even remembering. There's another superhero movie which is also dark. What's that thing called? With this, is it Josh Brolin and Jessica Alba? Sin City. Sin City is also another one that I'd recommend.
A work of art. I feel like just even the visuals of it, for me, it was just a work of... Oh, Josh Brolin, first of all, can do... Hey, I'm really... I think, did we select movies based on like the men?
Not me, but...
It's because Josh... Yeah, actually, yes. That's Sin City.
Was there a dog in this one?
Yes, there was. Yes. So there's a dog, and I really wanted to know. There's a particular dog, Nani's dog, and I really wanted to know what happened to it.
Who?
Cyborg's dog. Like when they were looking at the pictures on his mantle after his dad had passed away, and they'd finished, and you're seeing the picture of the dog, and I was like, where did Doggo go?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Sawa. Okay, so now, so where's Doggo?
And there's also the dogs that Barry was supposed to take care of when he was looking for his job. Yeah, before the hot dog scene. Yeah.
And they were licking his face.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there are dogs, again, in keeping with the theme.
We really love dogs. We really love dogs. We really do.
Doggos for the win.
Yeah. I think that's it from us.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember, if you enjoyed this video or audio, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy us and what we do, kindly subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, ding, so you can find out about it whenever we have posted new content. We want to interact with you in the comment section. Let us know, are you a Batman, are you a Superman, are you an Ant-Man? Like, what is it?
Please don't get me started on that. That's a whole other...
What fun? What do you enjoy? Do you enjoy the DC universe? Do you enjoy the Marvel universe? And what else would you like to tell us? And what would you like us to watch as well? Other recommendations of superhero films that we might not have thought of. And we're so excited to interact with you guys and hear more about what you think. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
On the Scene was filmed at Nyumba Cinema, located at Roslyn Riviera Mall. Give them a call for a cozy private experience at the movies. On the Scene with Douche
and Goose,
a book club, but for movies.